which songs do we think are sexy MFs and are going to be getting a spot on the TTMF Supercut of Diamonds and Pearls? It's time to trim the fat. So for this, for selection, we're including all the songs that featured on the original 1991 CD release of the album. But before we get to the songs, let's talk about the album cover itself. So Paul, maybe start with you. What's your thoughts on the album cover? And I suppose you need to take into consideration the original holographic CD cover, and then the standard issue cover, which came afterwards, where it has that slightly, it's the blue cover with Prince and the actresses that are models that were playing the characters of Diamond and Pearl on it. What do you think?
I think it's quite a good cover. I like the hologram cover. That seemed to be the rage at that time, because had the Miracle Queen, the single, that was a hologram at the time as well.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
I believe Diamonds and Pearls was the first mass-produced album cover with a holographic cover like that. I believe it was some kind of new technology that was used.
But yeah, no, good album cover.
Okay, what about you, Marv?
Yeah, I think it's a great album cover. Yeah, it's a difficult album actually to come up with a cover that would match it. Otherwise, I think it matches. It sort of goes with the album. But yeah, I mean, how else would you actually? What else could you think of for the album cover?
I know. It's I think there's just so many styles on it. It's a very difficult image to pinpoint it really, and I think actually it was very clever to use. I forget the names of the two women, but actually to visualize it as these two women, Diamond and Pearl. I think that was actually a very clever marketing idea. For me, the cover is okay. I mean, it ties in with the marketing, yes. I think it's a very safe cover compared to, say, the likes of Love Sexy or Dirty Mind.
Very safe compared to the Dirty Mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a CD that you're going to leave on your coffee table when your nan comes around, whereas Dirty Mind or Love Sexy, you're maybe shuffling it away somewhere. I remember our mum, Marv, saying about Prince, why are you listening to that Dirty Wee Man for?
That was the edited version.
Yeah, no. I went, he's an artiste, mother. He's an artiste. But yeah. But again, I think the cover shows again his desire to have a huge hit album. It's obviously very safe in terms of what's on there, his clothes as well. And I think, I loved the 3D cover at the time, the holograph. That was cool.
I think the reissue one is. I like the reissue one as well. It's like a classy photograph.
Yeah. Agreed. So that's the cover. Let's now talk about the songs. So, for this particular supercut of the album, there are 8 songs that all 3 of us have unanimously selected for a spot on the album. There are 2 songs which did not get any votes from us, which therefore will not get a spot. And we have 3 songs, of which we need to pick one to get the final spot on the album to make it a 9-track supercut. So what we're going to do first is talk through the 8 songs that we all decided should have a place on the album. So the first song that gets a spot is the first track on the album that would open the concerts on the Diamonds and Pearls tour, and that is Thunder. And here it is. It was Thunder. So Paul, I'll maybe start with you. What do you think of Thunder?
It was funny listening to. I haven't heard them for quite a lot of the tracks in this album for years. So yeah, it's quite a good song. Like I said before, it was quite theatrical, almost gospel-y, and a bit almost like a stage show or something. But no, it's a good song. The only criticism would probably be just the production, but that's the way it was at the time, so it just sounds a bit dated now, but it was of its time. But no, it's a good song.
Okay, Marv, what about you?
I think it's a very powerful opening song to an album, and it's almost as if it was created purposely to open an album, because it's got that sort of almost epic feel to it. And carrying on from what Paul said, though, I'm wondering if it might have made more of an impact if it had been the band as opposed to Prince on his own, because it's the one song on there that is Prince on his own.
I agree with you. I think it would have had more impact with the full band on it. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it was one of the earliest songs recorded as well because I think that was a song that was originally started during the sessions for the previous album, Graffiti Bridge. I think he started it in those sessions around then and then finished it, and it became part of this album. I think it's one of those.
Yeah. It's interesting that he chose to start that album with a song that was a completely solo one. That's quite interesting. So I know with some of the others, they perhaps started off as solo tracks, which he then reworked with the full band. So why? Maybe he felt he just had what he needed with his own version for this song. But I'd forgotten how good a song this actually is. It's one of my favourites on the album. As you said, Paul, it's very epic. It's kind of got a house music type piano playing in the background, which maybe dates it, but it is very cool. I love the sitar on it, the guitars, and there's even accordion going on in there, I think, as well. Which is just, everything's in there. And it was, I believe, meant to be about the night in, and we've referenced it already, it is meant to be about the night in 1987 that Prince decided to withdraw the Black Album. And he was rumoured to have had suffered a bad ecstasy trip, and this is what caused his decision to withdraw it. And do you know what the original second song in the Diamonds and Pearls album was going to be after this? Anybody know?
Go on, I haven't got those details in front of me.
It was going to be called Fies.
Oh,
right.
A bit like my joke then, wasn't it? A bit like my Colonel Sanders joke.
I'm here all week, thank you. Yeah. If only, that would have been great. if that was only true.
So if it had been a Mark King from Level 42 album, the second song would have been Thumb, would it?
Thunder Thumb. Absolutely. So there we go, guys. Thunder is the first song to make it onto the supercut. The second song to make it is the title track, Diamonds and Pearls. So let's hear it.
Diamonds and Pearls is it's got a beautiful arrangement to it where it shows the scope of the album, really, where you've got the later on you've got the more rap oriented songs later on which stick to a certain vibe, but this one shows how incredible he is as an arranger and composer of songs, where he's got the different sections that follow from each other. So you've got the laid back verse that then goes into a incredible chorus. It's beautiful chorus, and then when you think you've got the best of it, you suddenly go into that very different middle eight, you know, the D to the I to the A to the M and that, and it just shows how incredible he was at being able to go into any form of music whatsoever, because this is pure perfect soul pop in essence, and he shows how much he was a great student of these different styles and how he could do these styles in his own way.
Yeah, it's a good song. There's quite a lot of the female singers on it as well, if I remember. But this came out after the album had already come out, didn't it?
This was the
It
third
was-
single, yeah.
So I was probably familiar with it. Before it
I
came
think
out.
this it came out maybe just prior to Christmas, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so that'd be the third single.
Yeah.
But no, it's a really catchy song, and it's got, as Marv said, it's got a good mix, different styles, and it's quite theatrical and over the top, which is good.
Who did you prefer, Paul? Diamond or Pearl?
Diamond.
We're getting to the real questions now, aren't we? The real important stuff.
Diamonds are forever.
This was one of Prince's most popular ballads, a really big radio hit in the US, and it was a top 3 single there, so it's very commercial. I just to repeat what you said, Marv, that middle 8 on it is superb. I think it sounds like horns on there as well, although maybe played on synthesizer. But the drums and guitar on it are really strong, as is Rosie Gaines's vocals. And it's got a sweet lyric as well, which seems to refer to someone who wants to give their partner everything, maybe from a materialistic point of view, but can't. So we'll give them all their love instead, which is quite sweet. And here's a fact for you. Do you know that the pearls in the music video for this came from Connie Parent, a Los Angeles jewelry collector and designer? And I wonder how many security guards watched over them while they were used in the videos and promo photos. I'm going to suggest quite a few. So that was Diamonds and Pearls. The third song that makes it onto the Super Cup is another single, and it's Cream, and here it is.
Any custard with that cream?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, so guys, is this song about scones, jam and cream, or something else? Who knows? What do you think, Marv? What is he talking about when he says cream?
I think it's what he likes on his when he's being a bit fruity, shall we say.
So when he has a fruit scone, that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Very good. And what do you think of the song, Marv?
It's actually a song which, back in the day, my band that I was in around that time kept saying no to covering, and I always wanted to cover this song. As opposed to what we were covering at the time, which was Controversy.
Oh, that would have been good, though.
Yeah, but it didn't suit my voice.
All right, okay. You preferred singing about cream much more.
Well, I might have forced it on the guitarist to sing it.
So you're obviously a fan of the song, then?
Yes, very. I like the drums on it a lot when the drums kick in. That's fantastically mixed drumming.
Yep.
That is.
Really clear, crisp drumming on it, yeah. Paul, you like this one as well, don't you?
Yeah, for me, it's the best song on the album.
Mm-hmm.
It's very commercial, and I like a bit of Prince when he has a bit of guitar in his songs. So it's just a really good, catchy song, and ticks all the boxes. And I think the song was a tribute to the band Cream with Eric Clapton and Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker. So that's what I think that Cream was.
Yeah.
Well, he's a big fan of Eric Clapton, that's for sure.
Oh, you never know. Yeah.
Prince.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, huge fan of Clapton and of Harrison as well. George Harrison.
Right. Yeah, did he not do a cover of While My Guitar Gently Weeps?
Oh,
Prince didn't he?
Yeah, he did that on stage, didn't he, with Tom Petty, and that's an amazing performance.
Yeah. Any music lover out there who's not seen it, do yourself a favour and watch that.
But Cream as well. Just to go back to the guitar that Paul was saying, I think so. The song before that we said, can't remember which one we said, Diamonds and Pearls. Yeah. That showed Levi Caesar doing some fantastic bass work on it for a change. He was the bassist on that. On this one, on Cream, I think it's a perfect marriage of Levi's rhythm guitar work on this, and Prince's guitar work as well, where Prince will put in like these little, they're not solos, but they're like little licks that he'll put between vocal sections that are, you wouldn't even think of those yourself, and he just naturally puts them in there, like these squealy sounds, and they're incredibly placed.
Yeah, tasty little flourishes here and there. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, for me, this song is a Prince classic. It's his last #1 hit in the US. It's just a great pop rock song, and I think when it starts, you've got the drums, and it sounds like it's going to kick into Robert Palmer's "Addicted to Love," and and then it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, the great driving drums, great backing vocals again from Rosie Gaines on it, that lovely swirling organ getting played as well. And it's a song you just can't help but tap your feet to. Excellent song. And it was actually one of the first songs written for the album. And in researching for the show, I found out, which I didn't know, that this was actually a love letter Prince wrote to himself. It was all to do with, I think after Graffiti Bridge, I think in that he felt that he was maybe people were beginning to cast him off as irrelevant. Prince looked in the mirror and wrote the words to the song for himself, and when you look at it, Prince, cream, get on top, don't give up. So yeah, rather, it's bizarre. I did not know that, but when you look at some of the lyrics now, you can see where it's coming from. Well, if you're going to write a song about somebody you love, write one to yourself.
If it was creamy, he would eat himself. Yeah.
It's just bizarre, isn't it? It's just bizarre. Okay, the next song, the fourth song that makes it on to the Super Cup is Willing and Able. Oh, that was Willing and Able, and I'll maybe start with this one. So I used to skip this song when I first bought the album. I didn't really think much of it, I have to say. And it's one of those ones which I think's got better with age. And it kind of has a Stevie Wonder or a Graceland period Paul Simon feel to it. I think the vocals on it are superb, and really nice beats on it. The drums that are going on, or the rhythm that's going on in it, makes it quite unique on this album, and indeed for Prince overall. It's quite an unusual sounding song, and I think maybe the sound. Apparently, it did evolve from a jam session in which Michael B, the drummer, began playing a drum pattern from an unknown song by British rock band Rockpile, so it kind of stemmed from that, apparently. What do you think of it, Marv?
I think it's a perfect mix or meeting of the different sides of Prince. So you've got the side of the soulful groove of his music, but you've also got that an incredible bit where Tony M's doing the rapping later on as well, and I think it works really well because of that, where both of those worlds fit in together, and his rap later on fits wonderfully with Prince's lyrics, and that guitar figure on it is so cool. That starts it off. That is such a cool lick.
It is, and as you say, and I think there's kind of, it's almost like a gospel choir type backing on it as well, which is really nice. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, it's quite good, quite funky, and like what you were saying, it's kind of a mixture of Prince up to then as well, because you've got the falsetto vocals are a bit like Kiss when he did Kiss. Sounds a bit like that when he's singing. And I really like the sort of funky sort of rhythm guitar in it, a bit like Sexy MF, the guitar in that when that comes in. So yeah, good song.
Yeah, it's a nice
I
chord.
like Rosie Gaines' keyboards as well on
Yes.
there with those keyboard stabs.
Yep. Yep.
The only keyboards I like are on
Brilliant.
Strolling. That's the only keyboards I like on the album. Strolling.
I think you called Strolling the Blackpool song, didn't you?
Yeah. I can imagine in the Blackpool ballroom or something, or at an old social club playing bingo in that.
Keep your powder dry for Strolling. Keep your powder dry. But yeah, no, Will and Ava's got, I think, some interesting chord changes on it as well. Which brings us to our next song, which is the first single from the album, and it is Get Off. 23 positions in a one-night stand. He's just shown up.
Yes.
He's modest.
I know, it's 22 more than I know. He is talking about musical statues, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was talking about his breakfast. Get off. That's my breakfast.
Maybe
That's my bowl of cornflakes.
Yeah, that's my bowl of cornflakes. Ones with the cream on top.
Yeah.
So he'll be strolling over to his cornflakes with the cream on top.
Yeah.
Wearing these diamonds and pearls. Yeah.
Yeah, but the cream came out of that jughead.
Unfortunately, and he had to push the other guy away. Yeah.
I know. And if MD Dare takes his cereal, there'll be thunder.
There will. He's insatiable, that boy.
He lives for loving those cornflakes.
He sure does. And he likes that snap, crackle, and daddy pop.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. And what he usually says is that people can have as many cereals as they want because money doesn't matter tonight.
See, we should have been writing for him, and he could have turned this into a rap for the album. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think you pushed that one in.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Marv, do you want to kick us off with Get Off? What do you think of it?
I would say this is one of the few best songs on the album. One of the greater songs on the album. It's possibly the best song on the album that's rap based. That's for sure. Yeah, and it's got a great feel to it all the way through, and I think it's got everybody absolutely perfect. I don't know what else to say about it. It's got an incredible, it's just you can't help but tap your foot to it and join in. Yeah, it's my favorite song on the album. It's just glorious. It's funky as hell. The band's playing on it is superb. The drums and bass are sublime, and it just really rattles your speakers. That guitar and flute riff in it is catchy as anything there is. It's brilliant. It's great the way the guitars and the flute merge there. And I think this was just a real signal of intent from Prince making this the first single. It's a real revamp of his sound with its, with it patently obvious this was more of a band thing than a solo thing. And my favourite bit in it is that James Brown referencing part around 2.5 minutes in. Is it I like them loud, I like them proud, and the horn stabs. Oh, glorious. And it paid off for him here in the UK. I think it was a top 5 hit, although maybe only 21 in the US. And it was the first single, but I believe it was the final track recorded for the album, which is rather bizarre. Paul?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's not normally the type of music that I would like, to be honest, although I do like the guitar in it, which is a bit like Bat Dance, the guitar solo in that. Yeah. But I do like it, that he is kind of putting all these different forms of music into it, and it's a very sexy song, isn't it? It's very...
yes, indeed.
Yes.
Very and sexy. It's funny.
You want to work on that zipper?
Yeah.
I heard the rip when you sat down.
Is he not talking about his postcode, his zip code?
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
maybe.
But
Yeah.
we the funny thing was we watched film from that year, Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis, and Halle Berry's actually like a dancer in a club, and that was the song that was on.
Yes,
Do you
that's
remember,
right.
Stephen? Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
So that was on. So it's quite funny. I heard it quite recently, actually.
Can anyone explain to me the lyric? You're a star and I'm a big dipper. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la.
Well, the Big Dipper is. Isn't
Alright.
it something to do with astronomy?
Well, I don't know. I was kind of thinking of what a big dipper does. It goes down and up like a wave, sound wave. And then I was like, yeah, that would make sense if it's Prince and the stars up above it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody knows what he
Yeah.
means by that, please write in and let us know. Yeah. Because my mind's went into overdrive with that one.
Maybe it's a drink or a
think I'm-
dessert or something.
Well, there is a drink called a Big Dipper, isn't there?
No, I don't know. But yeah, great song. Great song. Big thumbs up from us. The next one to make it on is Money Don't Matter Tonight. And here it is. So, Marv, we'll maybe start with you in this one because I know this is one you particularly like. What do you like about it?
I like the whole feel of the song. It's another one of those, a bit like Diamonds and Pearls, where he's showing how he can put together different sections. So he's got the perfect verse, chorus, and but in this one, I like his voice. There's a particular bit where his voice it distorts slightly because he's got a slight grit in his voice at a certain point, and it's something that you very rarely hear from Prince, but it's a controlled grit in his voice that's just amazing, that just astounds me every time I hear it because it is so different for Prince.
Yeah, agreed. Paul, what do you like about it?
Yeah, a bit like what Marv was saying there, that it feels like it's really stripped back.
Yep.
And it's like, but there's something nice about the simplicity of it, that
Yep.
it could be, I don't know, you could have imagined Al Green doing it or something in the early to mid 70s. You know, there's nothing fancy on it. It's just a straightforward, good, like, catchy song.
Yeah.
So yeah, good song.
That's exactly. I agree with you two guys. That was my sentiments exactly. It was nice just to have a more clean, straightforward song on the album. I think the drum sound on it is great. I actually liked it more as a song when it came out as a single, and it is kind of like Prince's State of Union address, isn't it? The lyrics dealing with money, poverty, and greed. So I think just between that nice, clean, straightforward production and arrangement with those lyrics, it really does strike a chord. Very, very good song. And maybe it is more of a simple sounding song, because I believe only Prince, Michael B. and Levi Sisser Jr. played on the song, so it wasn't the full band, which maybe I think Prince played most of the instruments on it, which maybe explained it. And it's a strange one. They're the only ones that played on it, yet it was a co-write with Rosie Gaines, apparently.
Well, she is there in the backing, isn't she? In the doing the harmonising every now and then. Beautiful harmonies. How they choose where to harmonise.
I don't know.
And I won't be surprised if it's Rosie actually doing keyboard.
Maybe.
Because she's a really good keyboard player.
Yeah, it's but no, it's a real strong song. Really strong song. Talking of strong songs, let's move on to our next one. One which I'm a big fan of, and maybe at one point was my favourite on the album, and that is Push. So guys, that was our penultimate song of the 8 that we unanimously voted on. That was Push. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, it was quite good, quite funky. Like I say, I like that kind of almost soul, mid-70s funk style. It's just really good, and just a good combination of all the things, all the different, I guess, people that were on the album, and it's a good mixture of all that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Marv, are you a fan of this?
I'm very much a fan of this. While we were listening, I mentioned, didn't I, about I pointed out that the chorus bit when they're doing the push, the chorus E bit. I mentioned that it's interesting that Prince is doing the higher vocal and Rosie Gaines is doing the lower of the two main vocals on this, which I find fascinating, really. And then even in that bit, you've got that Tony M with his deeper rap voice fitting in there perfectly, like Paul said.
At push. Yeah, a real band song, isn't it? Yeah, for me, it's one of my favourites from the album. It's 6 minutes of glorious funkiness and musicianship. It's like a really wonderful live jam they've turned into a song. And my favourite thing on it is the strings on the track by Claire Fisher, which recall the stuff she did for the Parade album for Prince. And another great feature of it is when the take turns to rap at the end of the song. You've got Tony M first, then Rosie Gaines, then Prince, and Prince's rap. He name checks all the songs on the album.
You don't want me on the mic.
You don't want me on. No, man. And what's interesting about it, the rap he does, you'll notice that he doesn't mention Get Off, because at that point, I don't know if Get Off had been recorded, so he mentions the song Horny Pony instead.
Yeah.
Which was Horny Pony, yeah. So that's in there. And I'm a horny pony.
Yeah.
Oh, you've lost me now.
From Pakistan to Poland, straight into your towns. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. I'll stop there. But yeah, that's great. It really is good. So the song itself was recorded at Prince's Paisley Park Studios in February 1991, which would have predated Get Off. And the last time that Prince performed it live was all the way back in April 1993 at the Universal Amphitheater in Universal City, California. So really, once the NPG ended, it never got played again. Which
what was it like
sense.
live?
It was great live, yeah. It was great live. Because they obviously did the rap, and that was the last song of the concert. And as I said before, it was like this glorious funky jam, and it was really quite loose live as well. And it was they extended it. It was brilliant. It was really good, as you can imagine. Just the kind of groove and the bass and the drums and the rapping on it, superb. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
I'll put a call out to the Prince estate if you're listening. I want this from this tour.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be good. Well, it's the kind of thing you would have hoped if they'd taken advantage of the 30th anniversary last year, that would have been perhaps one of the discs that would have accompanied a kind of deluxe edition, that you would have had a live concert from that period. Because I know certainly quite a few were recorded, so there's certainly no reason why they can't do that. Okay, let's go to our 8th song, which was the last track on the album, and it is Live for Love. Here it is. Live for Love.
There you go.
Right, so that was Live for Love. I'll maybe kick us off on this one. So I think this is a very cool tune and a good album closer. It's got a very hip-hop backing track there. And the lyrics seem to relate to a person who is now a fighter pilot and having a crisis of conscience before dropping some bombs. There's some nice harmonies on it, and the guitar's great in it. But the best part for me is the running bass guitar solo from Sonny T just before the 5-minute mark, where it kind of runs up and down. Oh, that's brilliant. And a couple of facts is this is believed to be the earliest Prince-related recording to feature Tony M, who contributes a rap. And like a lot of the songs that are on the Diamonds and Pearls album, the last time it was played live was on the final day of the Diamonds and Pearls tour, which was July 12th, 1992 in Paris, France. So Marv, what do you like about Live for Love?
I love the whole feel of the song, and looking at the history of it, it actually says on Wikipedia that it's one of the first songs actually recorded for the album back in '89. So, is it a case of he did this song with Tony, and then perhaps that was the basis of Prince thinking, "Oh, that's what I'll do next," and that's how the whole thing came about, and led up to. Yeah.
Apparently, this was kind of like Tony M's audition to be in the band. So there you go. You're not wrong.
Okay. Wow.
And then I think the song mutated from that. Yeah. So you're spot on.
But because you can hear the transition in the song as well. It's got that funky, classic Prince feel to the music, and then the beautiful, as always, melody and harmonies in the background, and then that rap is just perfect for the song as well.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, thanks for that, Marv. Paul, are you a fan of this one?
Yeah, it's quite a decent song. It's not brilliant, but it's. Do you know what it reminded me a bit of? We were talking about him earlier. It reminded me a bit of Level 42. There was something about the sound, like the sun goes down, living it up, or something. Reminded me a bit of that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's it for me. Yeah.
Do you know that kind of robotic voice that does the countdown at the beginning was apparently, I wish I'd written it down now, but apparently it was software that they were using in the studio. It was a computer or something, and it actually did have that voice. And I think he had maybe used it on another track which was unreleased, and then used it on here apparently, which is kind of strange, but hey. Right, so guys, that's the 8 songs that have made it, which is great. Let's briefly talk about the 2 songs that none of us wanted on the album. And we've made reference to one of these quite a bit already. Yes, Paul's favourite. So yeah, let's talk about the 5th track on the album, which was Strolling. Oh, in fact, let's hear it before we talk about it. Here we are.
Yes, please.
Do you need this played, Paul?
Oh, every time.
You want me to play? Okay. We could have fun just strolling. I'm beginning to feel a wee bit sorry for strolling now.
I know, me too.
So am I, especially for that cracking solo by Levi.
I know. In fact, I wouldn't say anything yet.
What about the cracking solo there on that organ?
Yeah. So boys, I heard this played live.
Twice.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who he sounds like? Jimmy Somerville.
He does not.
He does.
He does not. Away. Does
He
not.
does.
We can have fun just. Oh, Jimmy Somerville covering this. That would be the Communards doing it. Oh, that would be special. Maybe not good special, but special. So, right, that was Strolling. Paul, you've got lots to say about it, so unleash your hate for the song.
Do you know the funny thing? I don't hate it. I probably... The funny thing is because it's so bad, I kind of like it. Because but it almost like it's so crap. But that's why you like it. That's what ironic way. you sort of have a good laugh about it, you know. So I'm glad he put it on the album because it makes me laugh. That's good, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a song that makes me laugh. So there you.
That's
Why,
lovely.
yeah.
Okay, and Marv, I think you have a more positive spin on this particular song.
Well, when you put an album together, you record so much material that, you know, sometimes there are songs that you might like that just don't make the cut. And so when you're doing something like this and you're trying to work out what doesn't make the cut, some songs just, yeah, they just don't go there. Strolling is very laid back, soft, almost jazzy. Is it forced jazzy or is it comfortable jazz? Is up to the person that's listening to it. But I do think that it has an outstanding guitar solo by Levi Caesar on there. I think that's a lovely solo on there.
Yeah, it's the best part of the song for me. Yeah, I mean, I used to always skip the song. I hated it on original release, and I just found it a bit dull. Yeah, very jazzy. Actually, with my more learned ears, I can appreciate the musicianship on it and the jazzy feel now. Obviously, it's an ode to walking. It's got some really nice little. There's nothing more than that. I like walking. Yep. If it would have been good if he called it that. I like walking. Yeah. But yeah, nice little guitar flourishes on it. But yeah, didn't make my cut. Wasn't near to making it either.
A better guitar solo by Levi Caesar will appear on the next album.
Yes,
with Sexy MF.
Oh yeah,
it's a great,
but definitely.
You'll never top a keyboard solo as good as this, though. You'll never top that, even on the next album.
Oh.
Well, here's let me ease that heavy sarcasm with a fact about the song. The basic recording for the track took place in late August, early September 1990 at Warner Pioneer Studios in Tokyo, Japan, where Prince was touring on his Nude Tour.
Nice.
Which I will clarify, he wasn't performing in the nude. That was just the name of the tour. And the second song none of us voted for was the second last song on the album, and it is Insatiable. And here it is.
I'm nude, baby. I'm nude. I'm nude. Come strolling with me for my cream.
Oh, where's the bit? I like. You show me your, and I'll show you my.
Show me your jughead.
Oh, come on, Jughead's much better than this.
Oh yeah.
You can stop there, Stephen. Put it out
sure?
its misery. Yeah, put it out its misery.
Okay, so guys, that was Insatiable, and this was a song written by Paul's wife, Jill, about Paul, which Prince covered. Is that right,
nice.
Paul?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the music she likes.
Insatiable.
When you've got it, flaunt it.
Exactly.
Insatiable for smoked sausage.
Yeah.
I'll maybe kick us off with this one. So the 17-year-old version of myself detested this song when the album originally came out. I would always skip it on the CD. I always felt it was a poor man's Scandalous, which was from the Batman album, and I love Scandalous. It's a superb song. And, you know, in retrospect, I was probably being a little bit harsh. I still wouldn't say I like the song, but I can certainly appreciate elements of it now. But come on, it's nearly 7 minutes long, and there's not much going on there for me. Prince has done this type of song, this style before much better. So it was a very easy decision for me to rid it from the album. Marv, what about you?
I'm completely in agreement with you. When I first got this album, this was the one song where most of the time that I listen to it, even now, I listen to it and I'll skip it after a minute or so, and I'll think, oh, this is just going a bit. And I think to myself that, like you said, he's done this sort of thing before, but better, and he's been doing this sort of thing for a long time as well, really. Yep. So for an album that's supposed to show his moving forward and evolution, it sort of holds back in a way, and I think if he trimmed the song down and gave it a bit more life, it might be more interesting. But it sticks to the same vibe all the way through as well, which is you've got an exciting album, and then this brings it down before coming back with the excitement for Live for Love.
Yep, agree. I think the style of song, as a comparison, you can maybe compare it to Adore from Sign of the Times or Scandalous from Batman, which are infinitely better songs in that same kind of style. Yeah, Paul,
Adore is one of my favourite songs from Sign of the Times.
It's a beautiful song, isn't it?
I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, beautiful song, Adore. Paul, you're not a fan either.
There's nothing I can add to what you've already said. So, that's all I can say.
We've got 8 songs agreed upon, 2 that have not made the cut, and we've got a space for 1 more, and there's 3 songs in contention for it, and they are Daddy Pop, Walk Don't Walk, and Jughead. And we now, between the 3 of us, need to decide which song gets that final spot. So to do it, we're going to go a bit crazy and make a case for each of those songs. So Marv, we'll maybe kick off with you. You wanted Jughead on here. What do you like about Jughead?
Jughead, I think it's another perfect example of Prince trying this style out with the funky groove rap soul that you've got on I mean, really, it's similar ground to what he did with Get Off in a sense, but at the same time, I'm sort of looking at the album as well as 2 sides, as a vinyl. So if you've got the first side finishes with track 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 being Get Off, you've finished on a high. And then if you want to keep that momentum going and you turn the album over, you've got another high with Jughead, which is another...
Yeah, I mean, Paul, I was going to say, Paul, do you remember this one?
Do you know what it reminded me of? Remember the song that got to number 1 for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Remember that song? It reminds me of that.
That's nasty.
You know the one, what was it? Who was it that did it again? It just sounded a bit like that.
Buster Rhymes. Was it?
Wasn't. No, it was Addams Family that MC Hammer did, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's very of its song. It's very of its time, and just not really my cup of tea.
So yeah, Jughead. I think it's a decent song. I think great musicianship on it as always from Prince and the band. I think it's got an interesting lyric about music managers being parasites. Yeah, I mean, I think it was maybe for me. Just there was other songs I preferred more on the album than this one, which is why I didn't choose it. I do have an interesting fact related to it though. In December 1991, Steve Fargnoli, Prince's former manager, sued Prince stating that the spoken word message about managers, which is included at the end of the song, was about him and broke their non-disclosure agreement. The defamation and breach of contract suite demanded $5 million in damages. The next one that's in contention is Walk, Don't Walk. So let me play that now. Okay, so that was Walk, Don't Walk, and this is one that I would like on the supercut. For me, this could have been a single. I think it has some aspirational lyrics about doing your own thing and not being bullied into what others want you to do. I love the sha-la-la-la-la refrain, the honking cars in it. And in a lot of ways, it reminds me somewhat of Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi, in the way that it's kind of recorded. Again, a couple of interesting facts related to it. So the basic tracking took place in June 1990 in London. And it is believed that Prince never ever performed this song live, which is very interesting. What do you guys think of the song? Marv, are you a fan of it?
Yes, I do like this song a lot. It was actually between this and Jughead, if I'm being honest. But I like when you talk about the honking cars. I do like that. Yes, I like it when it stops.
Right.
Da, 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 beep, beep. And all that is really clever how they've got all that sound together there, and it works perfectly. But yeah, I do like this song a lot.
It reminds me a little bit of Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed. Also reminds me a bit of Sign of the Times, the song. Sort of like the tempo.
And the third song, it was another one that I would have liked on it, and it is Daddy Pop, and here it is.
She's talking to her dad.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting relationship right there.
I think he's a sugar daddy.
Yeah, I hope so. So that was Daddy Pop, and yeah, this was actually originally going to be the album opener. And before it was replaced with Thunder, and for me, I like it. It's got a great drive to the song, very funky, great energy. I like Tony M's rap on it, and when they performed it live on the concert that I seen do the song, I still remember the bit where the wave your hands in the air line, and everybody in the crowd just doing that in Glasgow. Brilliant. Again, a couple of facts about the song. The song was last played live in the summer of 1992 in Paris on the last show of the tour, and it includes a sampled drum loop from Aretha Franklin's 1972 track Rock Steady.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Paul, did you like this?
Not really. I mean, just being honest. It was funny because yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I had it on Apple Music. And you know how they have the lyrics?
Yeah.
And it just was like, a bit, don't know, it just seemed a bit sick. Daddy, and all this. You're like, good.
I've got them here. Oh, Daddy, ooh, sock it to me. See my brother talking plenty head.
Yeah.
Daddy wishing he could sleep in your bed.
Yeah, so I was just like, no, it was a bit like, who's your dad? Who's the daddy and all that.
And there I was thinking it was a song about a kid asking for the dad for a lollipop.
That's right, yeah.
I want to go with your interpretation of it, Marv. I can live better with
or
that.
Maybe it's a different way. British dads and American dads are described, because some Americans will call their dad Pop. So maybe it's Daddy or Pop.
Yeah.
That's my naive.
Here you go. 1, oh daddy. 2, oh yeah. 3, ooh, sock it to me. 4, oh come on, you're the best. Marv, you a fan?
It's Poppy.
It's Daddy.
Yes, it is. It is. It's the daddy of a Poppy song.
Who's the daddy?
Really where to go with this. I must admit, I agree with you on that rap by Tony, though. I think that's brilliant. The rap. I think that's the standout bit of the whole song.
Yes, really. Agreed. And that was the best bit of it live.
This is so unfair.
Well, it's fine. You can go with that. That's what you selected, or you can change your mind.
I will, for the time being, go with Jughead.
Jughead. Okay. I need to pick between two. I prefer Walk Don't Walk, so I'm going to go for that. So one vote for Jughead and Walk Don't Walk. Paul, it sounds like you're going to have the cast and vote here.
I can't go for Strolling, no.
Strolling has left the building. Strolled away.
Or Strolling away.
I'm thinking whatever Paul picks, I'm going to like.
Yes.
So it's between Walk Don't Walk and Jughead, is that right?
And Daddy Pop.
Daddy Pop, of course.
Ooh, Daddy. Suck it to me.
Walk Don't Walk.
Walk Don't Walk. Walk Don't Walk gets our final spot. Okay, that is fine. Brilliant. Thank you very, very much for that. So we now have our 9 tracks that have made the TTMF Supercut of Diamonds and Pearls, and they are Thunder, Diamonds and Pearls, Cream, Willing and Able, Get Off, Walk Don't Walk, Money Don't Matter Tonight, Push, and Live for Love. So guys, how would you rate the supercut of the album? Now, Paul, you rated the original album 2.5. Would you make any upwards nudges with this?
I think I would go up to a 3 now.
Oh, you devil, you. Okay.
Up to a 3, being generous.
Oh, okay. 3 out of 5. I think, Marv, you were at, was it 4.5 or 5?
Yeah, I think I was at 4.5, and I would actually give it a 5 now.
Excellent. We like that.
Without Strolling.
It's funny how the removal of Strolling and Insatiable pushes the album up.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens. For me, I'm in the same boat. I think I gave it a 4. I would give our 9-cut version of the album a 4.5. I think it's improved. So, what I'd also like to get from you guys is your individual playlists of the album. So, Marv, do you want to take us through the songs you picked for your own playlist and the running order for it, your side 1 and your side?
So, side 1, mine started with Thunder as track 1.
Yeah.
Diamonds and Pearls as 2. Cream was track 3. Was Willing and Able, and track 5 of side 1 was Get Off. I looked at the times of these as well. So side 1 ended up being 24 minutes and 14 seconds.
Nice.
Then I carried on the upbeat that you had with Get Off by starting side 2 with Jughead, and then it went from that to, so it went from an upbeat funk rap song, and then to a soulful ballad with Money Don't Matter Tonight, and then from that it went to the incredible band song, which is Push, which gets all the great bits of it's like all of the best bits from the whole album all together in one song. And then it finishes off with a great album finisher in Live for Love.
Great, thank you for that. And that brings you in at what time, Marv?
22:35 for side 2.
Okay, so well within our limits there, and that's
total running time. Yep, total running time 46 minutes and 49 seconds.
For me, I actually took out the songs that I didn't want and literally kept the same running order that would have left. I thought that worked for me. So I started with Thunder, then with Daddy Pop, Diamonds and Pearls, Cream, and finished side 1 with Willing and Able. And that was... Now, I didn't clock the exact time of it there, but I believe that would just be under 25 minutes. In side 2, I start with Get Off, so slam straight back in there, then Walk Don't Walk, Money Don't Matter Tonight, Push and Live for Love, and again that clocks in at just under 25 minutes to bring my album duration to 50 minutes. How about that? Rather bizarrely. Paul, what about you?
My album just has eight tracks actually. So what I've got, it's similar to the way the album set out originally in terms of the setting. So Thunder's the opening track, then Diamonds and Pearls, then Cream, Willing and Able, and then that's the end of side 1. And Money Don't Matter Tonight, Push, and then ends with Live for Love. And the eight tracks come in at 42 minutes. So I did have like 8 minutes to play with, but I actually felt, do you know what? Just as Prince would say, Cream, you want to leave this is the cream and you've left the dregs. So that's what.
Yeah, but sometimes it's best to do that. I think that's the problem a lot of artists had with CDs, is they had all this extra space to play with. It's like, well, let's just put these 2 songs or 3 songs or 4 extra songs on it, to the detriment of the actual overall album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where the technology, the use of the technology actually is to the detriment of the artist.
Too much, yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on now to the final questions, and I have 2 for you. So, gents, I put up on the Prince Facebook group a poll and asked the members of the group to pick their favourite song from Diamonds and Pearls. And I would love to get you guys to guess what the most popular song is. And let me just give you... let me just refresh it here, and let me just let you know how many people voted. So I think we've got about 330 people voted.
Wow.
Which is very good, yeah. And I only put it up, I think, yesterday. So, Sunday night. So thank you to everybody in the Prince Facebook group for voting. That's great numbers for such a short period of time.
We hope you voted Strolling as a song.
Well, we'll maybe come back to that, Paul. So, what do you guys think was the most popular
I'm
song?
not sure if it will walk away with it.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, yeah, what do you think, Marv?
Out.
What do you reckon was the most popular song as voted by the Prince Facebook group?
Oh, I'll go for Cream.
Cream, okay. Paul?
Yeah, make mine a double Cream.
You think Cream as well?
Had we not already said this already?
No, that was...
I know, I was thinking this.
That was our own Facebook group with the singles. This is the entire album.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So you guys think Cream?
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, it was... Cream was only 6, with only 13 votes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The winner... Well, do you want another? I'll give you another gift. I'll go. One more go. Marv.
Get Off.
But what about the song? Paul?
I'll go Diamonds and Pearls.
Right, your second guesses are much better, guys. The actual top song with 120 votes, so a clear winner was Get Off.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, 120 votes, so that's about a third of the vote there. And in second place was
Did Paul
Diamonds
get
and
number
Pearls.
2?
No, well, yeah, Diamonds and Pearls, yeah, with 75
Clap.
votes. Yay, we need to clap in there.
Out of curiosity, Stephen, what did Strolling get? Just out of curiosity.
Strolling got
That must have
5
come
votes. Okay, and I'm going to give these people a shout because beauty's in the ear of the listener. So Ziggy Frizz, Dietra James Lambert, Chad T. Kuhn, Michitio Marino Clark, and Melody Fernando, all picked Strolling.
All my pseudonyms.
Yeah, they must be their pseudonyms. Your fake Facebook accounts.
Steve,
yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
How many people chose mine and your least favourite song?
Okay, Insatiable. Would you believe that finished 5th?
Wow.
24 votes. Yeah, can you believe that? 24 votes. Although I wonder if some of that is maybe to do with the fact it was a single in the US, perhaps?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was a single. I think the B-side to that was I Love You and Me, which was originally the B-side to Arms of Orion. So quite strange
And
it would be. Song. And it's a better song, yeah. I Love You and Me is a brilliant song, yeah. So there we are. It was Insatiable was 5th. It finished above Cream. And Money Don't Matter Tonight was 3rd with 36 votes.
Good call, those 36.
Oh, now, one song finished with no votes. Not one vote. Jughead.
No.
I know, I can't quite believe that, yeah.
No. I was pushing for a no voter.
Yeah, Jughead, yeah. Daddy Pop with 3 votes. Push with 4 votes only. Walk Don't Walk 4 votes. That's quite interesting, isn't it? That Jughead, Daddy Pop and Walk Don't Walk were the 3 that had to fight it out there, and they're 3 of the bottom 4 selections here in this poll.
Wow.
There we go. So, but anyway, thank you everybody who voted in that poll. Greatly appreciated. And your second question, guys, your final question. What do you reckon is the most popular Prince song based on downloads, streams, and physical sales? So, Paul, this time I'll let you go first.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain? Okay, Marv?
I was thinking the same before Paul said that. I thought Purple Rain.
It's the really obvious one, isn't it?
Yep.
But is it right? Yes, it is. Purple Rain, which is probably no great surprise there. So thank you
for the album. Is that
yeah. I think in terms of album sales, I'm doing this off memory. Purple Rain is by far and away Prince's biggest studio album. I think that was around 24 or 22 million or something like that. And you consider his next best-selling studio album was Diamonds and Pearls with 7 million. But I think this is where Prince was maybe a bit of a victim of his own. I mean, he was just so prolific, wasn't he? Releasing an album every year. And I think if he had taken more of the approach of a Michael Jackson, where you only released an album once every 3-4 years, whatever it might be, then the album that was out there, you'd keep milking it for singles and it would have sold more. But then that takes away from the genius of Prince, where he was able to release an album every year and it sound totally different from the previous album, but still sound like Prince. And that was the genius of the man. And I think you've just got to consider that when Michael Jackson put out Thriller in 82, Prince put out 1999, which was a double album. And when you get to Dangerous in 1991, which is, again, by Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson's put out Thriller, Bad, and Dangerous in that, 9-year period? And in the same time, Prince has put out, 1999, Purple Rain, Around the World in a Day, Parade, Sign of the Times, Love Sexy, Batman, Graffiti Bridge, and Diamonds and Pearls. And, a few of them were double albums as well.
And then you've got the other work that he was doing for other people. So you've got the Vanity 6 albums. You've got the albums that he did with The Time as well. So there you go.
I know. So I think you've got to put in the context that if you're releasing things more frequently, then that perhaps makes them to the general market buyer less special. it's just another Prince album. And there's not maybe the same buzz if you've not released something for a few years. So I think that had an impact on his sales. But he was a consistent seller. I think each album generally was, 3-4 million, pretty much, during the 80s, after Purple Rain. So
I think it shows a change in the industry, very, very, very largely, because if you compare that to the 60s, when you had the Beatles releasing 2 albums per year at the beginning of the 60s.
Every 6 months.
Yeah, every 6 months you'd have a new Beatles album for the first 4 or 5 years of their existence.
That's right.
And then it had changed dramatically when Prince came about, because he was having arguments with the record company wanting to release more, and they were sort of saying, well, no, you can't release any more because you're flooding the market if you do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was very much a throwback to a previous time, wanting to release material on a much more regular basis, and probably commercially to his detriment, but artistically to his betterment when he was delivering the goods, if you like.
Looking at it from another angle, actually, Prince, it might have worked using a different technique where he was releasing the albums, and he could have used the Beatles methodology actually and released albums and then released singles that were separate from the albums.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And well, as you know, Marv, with the Beatles, the A sides, well, the singles they put, the A and B sides would generally be non-album tracks. So yeah, that would have been a good, use them as a trailer if you like for the album. But yeah, you would have to buy the singles to get those songs because they aren't going to be in the album. Yeah, that could have worked. Or EPs or things like that. Yeah,
absolutely. EPs would have been a good model for Prince actually, but I don't think they're that popular in America, are they?
No. Okay, we're about to leave the building in our little red Corvette. So, guys, how have you found revisiting Diamonds and Pearls?
Yeah, it's been interesting listening to them after probably not really hearing them since maybe they came out, really, apart from the singles. But no, it was fun listening to it, and I still get a real chuckle listening to Strolling. Just makes me laugh. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
So that's your takeaway from all of this, is that
I'll be strolling away smiling.
Yeah, you'll be listening to Strolling a lot, having a chuckle.
Yeah, very much.
It's going to have it on repeat for the next 3 days.
It's all been worth it. It's all been worth it just for that. What about you, Marv?
It was nice to come back to the album and realise what it was that I liked about it initially. But to go to a point that Paul made, in a way, because we've got such memories, me and yourself, Stephen, of this album. Yeah, I think there's a certain nostalgia to the album that grabs us, and why it's so important an album, shall we say, to us.
Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly. It's for me, it's been nice. It's not a Prince album I tend to go back to listen to. I would tend to maybe go back to others and give them a listen. So it's been really nice to go back to it and realise, I think, how well it still holds up. So Marv, where can people listen to you?
My main show, Pods Like Us, you can find that on any platform where you can stream podcast from, and we can be found on any social network like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just by looking up Pods Like Us. Instagram is probably the best way to look for us on socials, because I'm always posting up podcast suggestions, what I'm listening to, and some other bits from other podcasters such as yourselves quite often, and others. And I can also be found at themarvzone.org, where I put all show notes and all sorts of things. I might write up about this actually. But I also do a podcast that's called P2 Podcast Blues, which is a show all about George Harrison, which you can find anywhere, and they are also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram if you look for it.
Okay, thank you for that, Marvin. Thanks for joining us this evening. It's been great. For us, you can listen to our show on all major podcast providers. You can help support the podcast by becoming a subscriber, and you can do so by going to anchor.fm/TTMF/subscribe. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Do you agree or disagree with our comments and selections? You can leave us a voicemail to let us know, or you can email us at trimthemusicalfat@gmail.com. You can check out all our podcasts, albums, and TTMF supercuts on our website, which is www.trimmingmusicfat.com. And check out our next album podcast, Phil Collins's But Seriously. That's an album you're a fan of, Marv?
It is. I think that's a really good album.
Okay, so with a goodbye kiss, we say thank you to Marv again, and we say thanks to you for listening. Until next time, keep trimming.
Our generation is in effect.